Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhum Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukaswarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. Yeah, dear devotees, the Colombo to Almora, lectures from Colombo to Almora is a very interesting, a book on itself, of itself to study. When Swami Vivekananda, he went to West, he taught or he preached Vedanta for 5 years, and he had seen the cream of the society and he had visited the best parts of the world, maybe Switzerland or London or France, Germany, US, mean, all other. Afterwards, he's coming to the India. And very interestingly, January 26th, he actually, he came to India. For Sri Lanka, it is around 14th or 15th of January 1897. But if you take the present India, because in the British India, the Sri Lanka was also the part of it. If you take that, then it is more of Makara Sankranti. Or if you take when he kept his, holy feet on the India after the 5 years of stay and preaching Vedanta, if you see, January 26th. January 26th is the Republic Day we all celebrate. And January 26th is the day on which Swami Vivekananda stepped into India and he gave a rising call, a rousing call to the each Indian to get up. And probably you should try to understand what was the historical moments or what was the history or historical position when Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda descended on this earth, and especially in India. That is the time by that time, for 10 centuries almost, we were colonized. We were ruled by Khiljis or slave dynasty, starting with from Mughals, then Dutch, French, Portuguese, finally British. So we were looted and we were pushed into slaves, and all our what do you say? I mean, wealth was taken away from the kings, so called. And apart from that, we were pushed to the ground. Actually, we were dashed into the ground from the Mughals and others. And these Dutch, French, Portuguese, Britishers, they came, and especially Britishers, they understood that for a long time, just by military or politics, we cannot rule the Indians for a long time. So how can we rule them long time? By changing their beliefs, by changing their mindset. They should start thinking bad or inferior about their own forefathers, that is Rishis, or about Vedas, about Upanishads, or about Puranas, Ramayana, Mahabharata. So very venom in such a way that the cream of the society became anti-Indian, anti-Hindu, anti-Indian wisdom. So even some of the historians say, one side there was a Indian reform movement or first war of Indian independence and all. The other side, a good amount of people, cream of the society, they were feeling inferior to say about themselves that they are Indians and they are Hindus. So at this critical juncture, Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda took birth. This is the one side. Under the world scenario, if you see, because of the Industrial Revolution, the West thought that we can get away from the religion, we can get away from the God or spirituality. For them, religion, spirituality is more or less same. So we can get away and I can do anything and everything. And that's how logical positivism and so many other philosophies came in the Western part of the world. When Swami Vivekananda, in one of his lecture, he tells very clearly to the West, because of Industrial Revolution, you have progressed, never mind, very nice, but the whole civilization is on the lava. If you don't implement the spiritual component in your civilization, I am warning you that in no time there will be big explosions. And Swamiji said, in just 50 years, we had two great world wars. I don't say great, two world wars we have seen. So Sri Ramakrishna came and he did all type of sadhanas and he showed to the humankind that the God is experienceable. Means we can experience God, we can see God, we can experience the self. Whatever the Indian wisdom, especially we say Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, they are not mere hypothetical arguments. It is not mere imaginations, or it is not poetical utterances like poems or fictions. They are true and they can be verified, and they can be the values or the philosophy, whatever has been told, like Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma or Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi, etc. It can be experienced. Sri Ramakrishna did that. So he assured the confidence about the Indian wisdom and about the spirituality through his own practice. That's why Swami Vivekananda describes Sri Ramakrishna as spiritual laboratory. What a beautiful word. Physics laboratory we have heard, chemistry laboratory we have heard, today math laboratory, language laboratories have also come. Spiritual laboratory we have never heard. And Swami Vivekananda describes Sri Ramakrishna as spiritual laboratory. And and you see the meeting of Swami Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna is also very quite interesting. Sri Ramakrishna went just to fourth standard. Afterwards, he didn't go to school at all. So informal way of schooling he had, where the Kathakaras or Giti Alakya and all we say in Bengal especially. So where they used to have Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavata Katha, used to go and hear. And apart from that, he own practiced and he saw the God, he experienced the God. That so he stood for Indian mysticism, Indian wisdom which runs for 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 years. So where is Sri Ramakrishna? The other young Naren who studied, who was studying in the university with the Macaulay Minutes education system, and who had studied Indian philosophy, Western philosophy like Frege, Russell, Schopenhauer, whatever. All the Western philosophers they had studied. He had studied logic, he had studied history. So basically, the young mind, the young Indian mind, with the agnostic feeling, with a doubt, he has approached the Indian mystic or the person who symbolizes, who is the personification of the Indian wisdom, that, Sir, have you seen God? And we all know that Sri Ramakrishna said, Yes, I have seen God. But the other two or three points are there which probably we don't notice it. Sri Ramakrishna said, Yes, I have seen God, but the difference is I have seen much more clearly than I am seeing you. I have seen the God much more clearly than I am seeing you, young Naren. What a profound statement. We have to meditate, we have to think on this. First point. Second, Sri Ramakrishna says, If you want, I can show you God. So Sri Ramakrishna is a yoga sahai. In Kandana Bhava Bandhana, we sing yoga sahai. Means whoever takes spiritual practice, spiritual path, whatever religion he may be, whatever path he may take, Sri Ramakrishna is here to help us. What a great solace for all of us. Sri Ramakrishna is there to support us for our spiritual practice. And he himself has said, I have prepared the mound. I have prepared the mound. Only you have to put yourself. That means what? I have prepared the path. You just follow the path. Means follow my teachings. Then you will reach the goal. Second. Third, he also says that people can shed jug of tears for woman and gold, but not for God. Anyhow, so there you see the young Indian mind with influenced by Western education, Western philosophy, with agnostic feeling, he approached the Indian mystic who represents thousands of years of wisdom. And finally, it was between intellectualism and logic versus spirituality. Then who won or what it won if you say Brahma Teja? the the Brahma Teja, the knowledge of the Brahman or the Indian wisdom, the Indian mysticism, we say, which is nothing but spirituality or the self experience, self knowledge, each one. And Naren, with all his strong willpower, with all his strong intellectual capacities, he bowed down to the self knowledge or the power of the Brahman or the power of the Atma. By that, what happened? Finally, Sri Ramakrishna used Swami Vivekananda as an instrument to teach the Vedic wisdom to the India and as well as to the world. And if you see the history, in the history, where the whole world was in pulmail, where the whole world was in dark. The India taught the spiritual wisdom. India soaked the entire universe from its own wisdom twice, and this is a third time we are doing it, which has been done by Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda opened the gates of the West for the yoga and spirituality and the Vedanta. And today we have got a lot of centers, mission centers, Ramakrishna mission centers. Apart from that, there are so many gurus, so many sampradayas have come, so many organizations have come where they are teaching Vedanta, yoga, meditation, spirituality, and all. So he opened the gate, he opened the path or whatnot. So this is the background. And these lectures from Colombo to Almora coming by studying or by reading these lectures, the whole India or the cream of the Indian freedom fighters, you say, those times, are the people who created a great impression. They all got influenced by Swami Vivekananda's works, Swami Vivekananda's teachings, Swami Vivekananda's lectures. Say, for an example, to substantiate my argument or my statement, if you read Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who was the first, vice president of uh, India, second president of India, we all know that Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who contributed a lot to the academical level in the West for the Indian philosophy. He says in one of his lecture that though I come from a traditional family, since I was studying in the Christian convents, somehow, directly or indirectly, we were influenced by their views, and I was thinking negatively or in a down, what do you say, in a low tone about my own religion. But when I got the few pamphlets, handbills pertaining to Swami Vivekananda's lectures, when I started studying, it gave me a different eyesight, different view, different perception. And today, whatever I have done small contribution, I think I am not over exaggerating that he says that I owe to Swami Vivekananda and his teachings and his philosophy. The modern India, because very silently Swami Vivekananda inspired the young Indians in those times, and today also is doing it, no doubt. So in those days especially, he created the modern India. Is it different from ancient India? I mean, not, but it is a one way we can say. So this lecture from Colombo to Almora has played a significant role, especially in India, among Indians, to understand about their own glory of the India. They, one is 2 points we can say. One is they got the self-confidence on themselves. Self-confidence is about on oneself only. So just to give a overemphasis, I'm doing it. One is that. Second is that people started loving, people started respecting about their country, about their practices, or about their own wisdom. Having said this, Swami Vivekananda also has scolded us somewhere that we did some mistakes. Like poor people, we neglected the masses, we neglected women. So these are the two greatest sin India has committed, for which we have paid heavy price, Swami Vivekananda says. Apart from that, here and there, Swami Vivekananda has clearly, scolded the Indians that these are the mistakes we have done. So it is not that over, emotionally Swami Vivekananda spoke all these things. Based on the facts, factually, objectively, Swami Vivekananda has told about the India and about the Indian philosophy or Indian wisdom. This is what very one important point we have to understand. And Swamiji in Colombo, January 1897, see at the beginning of the lecture he tells, I don't know whether you observed or not, when he had a very good welcome, grand welcome he had in Colombo. So probably if same thing at 10% we would have faced, we would have experienced in this WhatsApp page, we would have put status and all, we would have felt great about ourselves, we would have taken pride, etc., etc. But and whatever I have done little, that is because of my guru, and it is because of my country, and it is because of my country's people. The humbleness, which is the one of the great, trait or the character of all these great people. Sri Ramakrishna, you can see. In Holy Mother Sharda Devi, we can see. In Swami Vivekananda, we can see. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can see. Or in Mirabai, we can see. All these great people who are the men or women of the great character, among them, we can see that humbleness. The same thing we can see that whatever has happened, it is all because of my motherland. Whatever bad has happened, it is because of me, and whatever good has happened, it is because of the blessings of my Gurudev and because of the Mother India or Mother Bharata. So this is one important point we should recognize in Swami Vivekananda's life or in character, the personality. So this is what I mean study. One is understanding the language, understanding the teachings, and behind that, what was the Swami Vivekananda's personality? What was Swami Vivekananda's thinking? Swami Vivekananda's approach to the situation, to the circumstances. This type of analytical study, when we do, we can understand many things. We can take life lessons. In our own way, we can try to practice. Then, and he also makes a very interesting comment. What is that? Formerly, I thought every Hindu thinks, just like every Hindu Indian thinks, that this is the Punya Bhumi. The India is the Punya Bhumi. But now, after going to the world, traveling across the world, he says that with firm conviction, I says that this is the blessed Punya Bhumi. Why? All souls have to come. Finally, they have to come here to finish their karma, and to which every soul that is wending its way Godward must come to attain its last home, the land where humanity has attained its highest towards gentleness, towards generosity, towards purity, towards calmness, above all, the land of introspection and of spirituality. It is India. Now, Swamiji is explaining what is India in these 3-4 lines. First and foremost, Swamiji is saying that, yes, this is a Punya Bhumi. Now, out of experience, I am telling. He made this statement. After making a statement, he is giving the reasons. He is giving the, what do you say, rationale behind the India is a Punya Bhumi. One, first and foremost, he is telling this land is a spiritual land, the land of spirituality. That is the central core of the India. Economical empowerment, technological empowerment, political empowerment, women empowerment, all these things is required. And every nation has got its some center, nerve center, and India's nerve center is spirituality. When if this is intact, then India will be strong. So this is one more important point we all should try to understand. What is the core? Many times, I had thought, like before studying or during young days and while studying Swami Vivekananda's philosophy in my own way, many times I had, probably before reading a complete works, especially Colombo to Almora, I had a thought, I had a question, a very serious question. India is a blessed land, no doubt, and so many Avatara Purushas have taken birth, wonderful, and so many galaxy of saints have taken birth in our India or Hinduism, fine. Probably every religion, every country has their own saints, but the amount of saints we have we have seen in India, witnessed in India, is much more, 10 times or a few 100 times probably. But still, why did we get undergo a lot of problems, tyranny and colonialism? 10 centuries we were uh, looted by others. Why? Then what these saints did, what the prophets they did, this was one of the biggest questions. It haunted me as a young mind for a long time. But when I read Swami Vivekananda's complete works and when I studied bit history, then I understood. In everywhere, 50 or 60 years was enough. For an example, when the Islam, I'm not judgmental, whether right or wrong, I'm not saying that. When the Islam started spreading from the Arab, in 50 to 60 years, Iran or Iraq, it became completely Islamized. In 50 or 60 years, 5 or 6 decades, the whole Iraq, either Iran or Iraq, it completely became Islamized. Whatever the Zoroastrianism we say, and Parsis, we say, Jamshedji Tata and all, they belong to that community. They have become minority, 1 or 2 or 3% they are there. Just 60 to 80,000 people as of now. It is unfortunate. They all from that Iran, and that Zoroastrianism, which is their scriptures, if you say 80% or 70% of their scriptural, I mean, their scriptural philosophy, which resembles to Rig Veda, now if you see, you don't find the remnants of that Zoroastrianism in Iran, completely vanished. But for 5 centuries, Islam, for the greater part of India, they ruled, but still we could hold on to our culture. We could hold on to our Vedas. We could hold on to our Puranas or whatnot. For 5 centuries, they ruled us. I mean, we have lost a lot of people. A lot of people have been martyred. Deaths have happened. A lot of people got converted. All these things, fine. But if you see from that angle, then still we were existing. And afterwards 3 4 centuries, again if you see from second century AD, first second century AD, when Rome accepted the Christianity, in no time the whole Rome became Christianized. Then whole Europe, their own religions, whatever the religions were there, everything got went away. And 3 or 4 centuries they ruled us, but still our country, our culture, and our religion is intact to larger extent. When I understood all these things, then I came to know, or rather, it became very clear for me that what the prophets or incarnations or the saints they did is what they gave the life current of spirituality to the India and Indians time and again, because they are born again and again and they reviewed our culture, reviewed our spiritual current. That's where we were able to hold on to our philosophy, hold on to our spirituality, hold on to our Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads. Much we have lost, never unfortunate, but still we have got a lot of things. Why? Because of them. So that's why? Because it's a land of introspection and land of spirituality. And this one introspection is also a very beautiful word. If you see, it is not only in spiritual thing we developed, even in medicine, in Ayurveda, in Natya Shastra, in Paka Shastra. Paka Shastra is cooking, or in mercury, or in many weapons. All this in forefathers they had developed. Even empirical science, materialistic science, we had developed. But because of again and again we were looted, or again and again we were what do you say, uh, invasions happened. Somewhere we had lost all of our wisdom and we lost that chains. Till 16th or 17th century, till then, we from 33 to 25% we were contributing for the world GDP. Means you can imagine how India was prosperous. Why everyone wanted to wish to come to India, from Romans, Greeks, Huns, Hungarians, or Arabs, Dutch, French, Portuguese. Not only silk, not only spices, because not only gold, we were very rich. So we were introspective people. That's why we could invent many things. Even the Arabic numerals, we say 0 to 9. It came from here to Arab. From Arab, it went to Europe. That's where, because from Arab, they got it, Europeans, and the Europe they called Arab numerals. And unfortunately, today we are also using 0 to 9 as, or we are addressing the 0 to 9 by Arab numerals. And not only that, Swamiji is telling that highest gentleness. Say Prithviraj Chauhan, for an example, highest gentleness, how can we understand? Prithviraj Chauhan, when he was attacked by Muslim king, when twice the Muslim king got defeated, he lost the war, and but just he begged for the forgiveness or whatever. Then he said, "Okay, we are Kshatriyas. If someone begs for, I mean, begs for forgiving or asks for forgiving, we are ready to forgive." And he forgave. But unfortunately, third time, the same person came. And of course, there is a lot of politics is involved and all these things, which I'm not going to details. But the third time, he came and he killed Prithviraj Chauhan. He took to the Afghan and he killed there. That's a different story. But you see, gentleness. So many, either Muslim kings or Romans or Greeks, and so many people they came. And we have, when our country's sovereignty came into question, we fought. But when they came and when they requested for us for life or for protection and all, we gave. Especially Israelis. Even today, Israelis, they love us, they respect us. Why? Because when their temple was shattered and when they had a political turmoil, when they left their mother country, they traveled to different parts of the world. And a small portion also came to India, especially in Gujarat and Kerala. They are there. When they came, we welcomed them. We gave a free land for them to stay and to build their community. Not only that, we allowed them to build their temples and to practice their religion. But whereas when they went to Western world, many girls or ladies, women were raped and children were put into slaves or whatnot. So we are known for our gentleness and generosity. This is one of the generosity. And for an example, if you go to Rajasthan, that I think Tanakpur, I mean, what do you say? There's a beautiful Bilwada temples. The Bilwada temples, if you see, the king was a Hindu king, and it is belonged to a Jain temple. The minister was Jain, of course. The Hindu king. In now itself, going there it is bit difficult. But in those days, they have built one of the finest temple. How Hindu king gave lot of money and etc. So Hindus, they supported Jains, they supported Buddhists, they supported Muslim, they supported Christians initially and all. So there you can see their generosity. And towards purity, my goodness, what an amount of purity we can see. Shibi Chakravarti, I don't know how many of you know Shibi Chakravarti. I mean, for truthfulness and for purity, one bird, probably pigeon or whatever the bird, it came and it took the shelter at the Shibi. Shibi said, yes, I am giving an assurance that I will protect you. Then the eagle or vulture came and he said, it is my food, please give me. Then the king said, sorry, because I have given a word to the bird and it is under my protection, I will not give. Then he said, fine, you gave the assurance for that bird and you are giving life protection. It is your dharma, fine. But my dharma is what? God has created in such a way that I have to eat these small, small birds and I have to leave. And what happens to my food? Then how can I survive? Then when the bird asks questions, then Shibi Chakravarti says, yes, I understand, but I cannot forgo my word. So whatever this pigeon, this bird weighs, so much weight of the flesh I will give, saying that so much flesh he removed from his thigh and he was measuring and he was about to give. By that time, the demigods or angels or devatas appeared and they praised Shibi Chakravarti and they went. And in the whole history of the mankind in the world history, you don't see such examples. Just you feel Satyaresh Chandra, just to follow the truth, just to keep his promise, he left entire kingdom. And in the case of Rama, just to fulfill his father's promise, he left the coronation, he left the land and whatnot. So this type of examples hardly we see in the other parts of the world, whereas in India and Hinduism we see. That's where the purity you can see. So one word we can, I mean, what do you say? We can meditate, or if you know the history, if you know Puranas, if you know the Indian ethos, definitely you'll be able to tell. And towards calmness. You see, in the whole world history, you don't find where the Gita started. The Gita was discussed where? In the Kurukshetra battle war. Now, say for an example, there was some, I mean, let God forbid, let not happen. For example, most of you from Calcutta. Calcutta, there you say suddenly there is a bomb. I mean, there's a bomb explosions and all. Then what you say, Swamiji, there is some bomb. I mean, blast here and there. There is some issue. Kindly excuse us. We will see next class. I mean, some other time. Kindly excuse us. Most of you probably you will get away. That is a common thing. There is nothing unusual there. But where in the Kurukshetra war is supposed to happen, it has been yet to start, or it was about to start. Might have started. At that juncture, Krishna and Arjuna, they are discussing the highest philosophy, the Brahmagnana, which is nothing but Bhagavad Gita. Where do you see? Where do you see such calmness? At all given point of time, there are so many, I mean, examples we can take from the saints where their life is under threat, or they're discussing the Vedanta, whatnot. Such calmness, such a great philosophers we don't find in. I mean, here and there we may there, but the galaxy of science we see in India, we don't see outside. That's what Swamiji is saying. So when Swamiji makes these statements, it is not just because of emotion, because it is not of his Indian Hindu is making these comments. It is based on evidences. So the more and more you study, know all these things, then you'll be able to appreciate Swami Vivekananda's wisdom, and you'll be able to appreciate about Sanatana Dharma and India also. And that's the reason I tell, to study Swami Vivekananda's philosophy or Swami Vivekananda's works, two important things, especially from lectures from Colombo to Almora to study. You should know Indian history bit, world history bit, and the other is philosophy. Classical philosophy should know bit. Then you'll be able to understand what Swamiji has told, what Swamiji has given, what is the beauty of it, what is the uniqueness of it, what is the significance of it. See, this four lines I took, and it went for 15-20 minutes probably. Yeah. And Swamiji is saying that again, they have hence have started the founders of religions from the most ancient times, deluging the earth again and again with the pure and perennial waters of spiritual truth. Hence have proceeded the tidal waves of philosophy that have covered the earth, east or west, north or south, and hence again must start the wave which is going to spiritualize the materialist civilization of the world. Here in India is the life giving water with which must be quenched the burning fire of materialism, which is burning the core of the hearts of millions in other hands. Believe me, my friends, this is going to be. So, Vishwaguru Bharata, we are saying this has become very famous statement today. How Swami Vivekananda is telling that we have to soak the entire humankind from the spiritual current, from the self knowledge, and we have done already. And again, we are supposed to do it, and we are going to do it. Swami Vivekananda is saying. I think in 2012 or 13, I wrote one interesting article, uh, spiritual, what do you say, contribution, India's spiritual contribution to the world or whatever. In 2012 or 13, I have written, which is published in Prabuddha Bharata. There I have taken some facts and figures how India influenced the West, starting from Rome, Greek, Egypt, and even Islam. Islam countries earlier days I have taken with facts and figures I have explained. If possible, try to read from Prabuddha Bharata this article. If you don't get, kindly let me know. Then I will try to share with all of you. I mean, you will get a what you say still. I mean, a better understanding how India contributed to the world thought. I mean to say. And also, Swamiji is telling one more thing is that the whole world, every country or every civilization, more or less, they try to invade other countries. They try to keep their knife on other countries, other civilizations, and other religions. But India is the only country which never invaded other country. Hindus are the only people who never invaded other religions, who never disturbed other religions and other faiths, other beliefs, and other country people also. This is what one important point Swamiji is telling, and uses the word might is right. In the whole civilization, if you see, it has become the might is right. But in India, we believed in the philosophy, live and let live. So this is what Swamiji is telling very clearly. And India existed before Rome, before Greek, whatever the ancient civilizations we see in the world scenario. Before that, India existed in the more civilized form. And they had a well education, they had a well wisdom, and whatnot. Next few paras tells that the whole world was tinged or soaked by this world thought, Indian thought or Vedic thought, Upanishadic thought. Veda means I don't mean only always sacrifices or whatever. So Vedic thought means it is knowledge of self. It is about the knowledge of consciousness and whatnot. So like this, we can go on thinking more deeply. So then I will give a some pause, and if you got any questions, you can ask. Or if this is okay, we can go like this in deeply. We can go. Otherwise, I can give the nutshell of the every lecture in one or two classes. Let me know. Thank you, Jai Ram Krishna.
No, Maharaj, this detailed discussion is good for us, I think. I think others will also agree.
Yeah, let me hear. I mean, let me know
Yes,
others' opinions. Yeah.
yes,
Yes,
Maharaj.
absolutely, Maharaj. Yes, absolutely, Maharaj. We know want the detailed discussions.
Mm.
And that
Any question?
write that your article, please share it.
Yeah, I will try to find out and I will try to share with you. Yes. Till now, whatever I spoke, you have got any questions or any doubts which you didn't understand?
This part we have understood, I think.
Hmm?
This part we have understood, I think.
Hmm.
Anybody having any question? Maharaj, you were supposed to give that link for that basics of Upanishad, Veda.
What do you
That
mean by basics of the Upanishads?
you are supposed to send the link for that whatever that introduction to that Upanishads or Vedas and all, where you have discussed about those Vyakaran, Kalpo, Nirukto, and the six system of
Oh,
philosophy.
Shikshakalpa Vyakarana Nirukta I didn't discuss. Only I think I discussed one this systems of philosophy, Nyaya Vaisheshika.
So that system of philosophy. So uh, either if you get that link, you can share. Otherwise, if you can just told some of them,
Mhm.
because here you have in that lecture you have told that Nyaya philosophy and that Nyaya in Upango again there is Nyaya, the logical reasoning, they are not the same and all. So
Hmm.
those parts, if you discuss, so it will be good.
No, I mean the sharing lectures link I understand. The other thing I am not understanding. What do you mean by that?
No, there you told that you have already discussed that what is that in what is there in the Nyaya system of philosophy, and then in Upanga also you have mentioned that there is Mimamsa and then Nyaya, that is logical reasoning, and this
Hmm.
Nyaya is different from the Nyaya darshan. Nyaya.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I have to see. Mhm.
So
Whether they have recorded or not, I don't know earlier because that was at the initial classes. So
because
let me
that I
see.
have not found in that Om Charaiveti.
Okay, then that means they have not recorded. Okay, Sankhya Yoga, Nyaya and Vaisheshika I am seeing. Just it's a 1 hour talk. That's all. Uh, yeah, here I'm Nyaya and Vaisheshika. I see, but I think initially it was beginning. I don't know whether they recorded or not. This is on Nyaya Vaisheshika. Now, just I mean put in the group in this itself. You can see. All of you can see in the message app. We are trying to discuss.
Yes, we got. Yes, we
Yeah.
got it.
So, and this is what Sankhya 1 I'm seeing, Sankhya Yoga, but I think 3 or 4 lectures I took, but I'm seeing only one, two only. It was beginning, I think they also have not recorded things properly, I believe.
These are English, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
the names are in Kannada, I think, so we cannot read also what is the. So that is the problem.
Where is in Kannada?
So this heading of the lectures,
No, it is in English only.
Shankar to Shankar Yoga to. Okay, okay.
Yeah, Sankhya Yoga and Nyaya Vaisheshika I'm able to find. This put it. Then yeah, if I find anything else, then I will definitely share. Because this was all beginning of the classes when I started classes for them. Then we did all these things. So I think they have not, either I had left them whether to record and to upload and all. So what they have done, I don't know much. Then we started Tattvabodha and all. Then I said we will go live only. Then it will be in the YouTube. That's how we could. I mean, what do you say? Save all the Tattvabodha and Drugdasha Viveka classes. Now Nyaya and Vaisheshika, Sankhya Yoga, 3 lectures I have shared. If possible, try to
Yes,
listen.
yes, 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 we will hear. Mm.
Maybe sometime we will try to maybe one each what you say system, Nyaya system, Vaisheshika system. Maybe 2 3 classes we will take and we will discuss slowly. Maybe at some point of time.
Yes, maybe if, in this Lahore lecture, all those things are mentioned, I think. So there we can also discuss.
Yeah. Yes. Let us see. Let us see. Hmm. Okay then.
So anything else?
नमस्कार महाराज.
And every time we read Swami Vivekananda, we get so much ideas and so many new understandings or findings or whatever.
So next day also we will be doing this first lecture itself, right?
Yes, more or less. Yeah, I will try to. First lecture itself is a quite big one. Let me see where probably you will be required some understanding. I will take that alone. I mean, I may not go every para. And if you got any particularly, if you got any questions, you can come with that so that you study and come, then read and come. If you have got any doubts, you can mark and come. Then that also I can explain. And apart from that, I will also see where there are can be some nuts we will not be able to understand. Then only that portions I will take.
Yes, we have read it once, but
Hmm.
means after
Now, before
sometimes it.
classes, if you read once and
Huh.
if you try to know, and if or rather if you make a note that okay, or in a pencil or whatever in the book itself, that okay, this is the lines I didn't understand, then I can take up and I can explain.
Huh. But after sometimes it become very heavy. So we were actually wondering that how that those people have listened to the whole talk. That is.
No, here 2 3 things. Even I have thought this regarding this myself. I have thought according to my understanding 2 3 points. One is in those days the science and technology or whatever the things which we are having, these many things were not there. The different what to say, the schools or different knowledge subjects and all were not there. First point. Second, they didn't have distractions like us. Today we are very busy, and today we have got lot of distractions. Say for an example, even if you compare ourselves in when we were small or children, like I mean even young, studying 1 2 3 hours probably it would not have been difficult. Now also there are some people, but in generally for all of us it has become in no time, knowingly unknowingly mind goes or hand goes to mobile, seeing that okay, any WhatsApp message has come or any phone has come, any some or other thing. So we have got a lot of distractions now. This is one thing. And third thing, now it has become the what do you say, information overloaded. We are all information overloaded now. In those days information was not so easily available, so there was a natural hunger in the people, isn't it? So, for an example, even 30, 40 years before, just if you give a normal lecture on Sri Ramakrishna based on his life incidents, people would have appreciated because books had not come, and people probably everyone would not have afford to take the book or purchase books or whatever reasons. So, even normal examples, Sri Ramakrishna's life stories, if you tell, they would have appreciated. Now, if you tell, oh, Swamiji, we have read all these things, we know all these things. So then we have to find out something else. We have to find out new ways of explaining or whatever, isn't it? So we are information overloading has been done now. So in those days it was not so. And more or less people like say, for example, Giti Alakya in South India, we say Harikatha, similar to Giti Alakya, for example. There are so many things were there where people used to go and sit and hear 1 2 3 hours. And even the Sarikatha, when we were small, we have seen the whole night used to happen. Nights 10 to morning 4 or 6 p.m. People used to sit and listen. Some people used to doze off, their only sleep off, never mind. But they used to sit and listen. Now where are the such programs itself we never hear now. So the acceptance and the understanding was different than those days, probably. That's the thing. And apart from all these things, Swamiji was a Shiva himself, that spiritual personality. So that because, for an example, I think if you remember Swamiji's life, who have read in detail, you will be able to understand. Even like I think Sister Dhiramata, or one foreign lady who became a ardent disciple of Swamiji. She says that when we were hearing Swami Vivekananda's lectures on Vedanta or self or consciousness, we used to forget about the time. We used to forget about the space. We used to forget about the surroundings, whoever there in and around. Even just we were hearing the thunder voice of Swamiji, and our minds used to soar so above high. And some of them, they've experienced that their Kundalini Shakti was arose. Even if you would know, I think probably you'll be knowing, some of you, that there's an interesting story, funny story. Swamiji, Sri Ramakrishna used to come and tell, Naren, what are you doing? They have to go back to home. So come down, come down. Otherwise, they'll not be able to go back to home. So when Swamiji was speaking, when talking, whether they understood philosophy or not, it's one thing. And that spiritual vibes or the spiritual power Swamiji used to give, that is something different actually. So there, the Prana Shakti and the Atma Shakti, the spiritual power, used to get disseminated by Swamiji, and that had made probably people to follow that, apart from understanding the philosophy or whatnot. So because at the Swamiji's, when you stay with them, because of their power and because of their purity and whatnot, your minds gets elevated. Even you can see in Sri Ramakrishna's life, and so like gospel and all you read, there are in between lines, some people are there XYZ, they came and they, because of Sri Ramakrishna's touch or Sri Ramakrishna's grace or whatever, they understood many things. They had a different visions, they had a beautiful visions, or they had a beautiful spiritual experiences. So, I mean, normally when we speak from all intellect, from bookish knowledge. When they speak, they don't speak from bookish knowledge or intellect. They speak from intuition. On the, what do you say, public. Even my Gurudev's words itself, many people nowadays, they think, when most of Ranganathanji Maharaj used to speak, and if you see his lectures, such a things, he brings philosophy, he brings psychology, he brings science. So common person, whether he was unable to understand all these things. But you see, in Delhi and all, that big auditorium used to be full, and outside lawn and all people used to sit. So whether they did understand or not, because most of them probably they are not there, we don't know. So if not, they got something palpatably. That's why they came and they listened to Maharaj lecture. Even A.L.K. Advani, he in his reminiscences, he says, when he was in Lahore and all, as a young student, he used to go and hear Maharaj lectures on Bhagavad Gita. And there's a funny story. Indira Gandhi used to come and listen to the Maharaj story, it seems. Once she requested Maharaj, as you know that I mean Prime Minister, or basically, I've got a lot of responsibilities. I can't come beforehand. On time I can come, I can try to come. So, but by the time I come, there will be no seat. So can you arrange so that, can you reserve 1 or 2 seats? So that he said, if you are coming here, you have to come as a devotee. So no privileges. If you come early, if you get a seat, you sit in the auditorium. Otherwise, sit outside on the lawn and hear and go. And she had to agree, and she had to sit outside many times and sit in the lawn and listen to Maharaj's lecture and go. So it is the spiritual power, we can say. Apart from intellect, it is a spiritual power also matters that. This is what my understanding when I thought about all these things. Yeah. Okay. Maybe next month we'll have a class.
No, third this month, third we are not having. You told alternate Wednesday.
Okay, we'll have third week.
Because we have already
Scheduled accordingly.
already we have entered, no? You told 7th and 21st.
Okay, 7th and 21st. Okay. 21st. Okay, sure. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Maharaj. Jai Pranam Maharaj.
Pranam Maharaj. Jai Ram.
Pranam Maharaj.